Really low visibility. A lot of people were mentioning that on Twitter on Saturday night. And once again, as we head into early Monday morning, Monday, of course, the first full day of winter, we do have the potential for that fog and potentially some ice fog as temperatures will be below the freezing mark. So basically anywhere between this weak Alberta Clipper and this trough in northern Ontario, so specifically southern Manitoba, we could potentially see some fog. So be prepared if you are heading out over the next several hours for some low visibility on the roads. Now, as far as active weather is concerned Monday across the country, there's not a lot of it. I'd say the prairies will be the most active. Again, we have these weak Alberta Clippers forming. They're not bringing much, but you could see some moisture in southern Saskatchewan through the first half of the day, Manitoba as we head into Monday afternoon and evening. And again, this is not going to be a lot of snow. Edmonton may see a few flurries, but it is predominantly going to be southern Saskatchewan, swift current toward Leader, maybe 5 to 10 centimeters of snow, likely closer to 5 than 10 for most. And then we still see that weak area, this weak disturbance in northwestern Ontario, where we could see a couple of centimeters of snow, but even in around Thunder Bay, because temperatures will be just above the freezing mark, you could see more of that rain-snow mix than anything else. Now, but temperatures were actually very seasonal. Toronto should be seeing daytime highs of 1 degree, and Pearson Airport got up to 2 degrees on Sunday, and then the sky's the limit from here. For Monday, anywhere from Windsor to Toronto to Ottawa, Montreal to Halifax, temperatures are exactly where they should be for this time of year, and then they'll only get warmer leading up to Christmas. And this is the big one here, Wednesday. Christmas Eve, Toronto could potentially be up to 10 degrees, Montreal 5 degrees, Ottawa 6, and getting warm in Atlantic Canada as well. Love it. Thank you very much, Kim, as always, for that. And by the way, let's talk about Monday, because it is the first full day of winter, and for so many of us it is going to be a fairly quiet start to the season, and it's also going to be a really mild one over the next few days. Specifically, the eastern half of the country, temperatures are about to warm up, and you can see all of these lows. Eventually they're going to all merge together and create some pretty rainy and windy conditions for the eastern half of the country around Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So we have a lot to talk about in the east. In the west, though, we're highlighting the fact that it's drier because it has been so soggy. There are a few special weather statements in around the Coquihalla Highway and Allison Pass. So from Hope to Princeton, if you're taking Highway 3, the potential is there into Monday morning to see an additional 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. Maybe some drizzly showers, but for the most part, we have high pressure moving into place. You have one more system left, and that's going to push, 10, 20 millimeters of rain into the lower mainland. So a very typical kind of system. It's more so overnight Monday into Tuesday, and then the rest of the week is looking a lot drier. Now, for the eastern half of the country, Monday, we're looking at just as much sunshine. It's going to be a beautiful day, dry conditions, only 3 degrees. I wouldn't be surprised if you maybe hit 4 degrees. So if anything, this is very liberal, but the bigger story for the prairies will certainly be temperatures cooling back down again just in time for Christmas. There's a weak clipper, maybe bringing 5 to 10 centimeters of snow to southwestern Saskatchewan, and then we could see a couple of centimeters of snow in northwestern Ontario. We'll talk all about that coming up next in the Long Range.
Go to the weather.
Coming up in this edition of Force of Nature, we'll talk about the first day of summer in the southern hemisphere. But first, And Chris, once again for Monday, we're dealing with yet another Alberta Clipper across the prairies, not bringing too much snow. We'll talk about that. But first, we need to focus on the long range. And what's interesting about this, and as Chris was suggesting, this Alberta Clipper is making its way toward Ontario, but it's going to merge with a couple of other lows, and it's going to produce an awful lot of moisture. And this is the big Christmas storm everyone is talking about. Now, at this point in time, it looks like the rain will begin on Tuesday for southern Ontario. It could be snow to start for the north, and even becoming rain or rain-snow mixing as temperatures get really warm. The heaviest rain will likely be through the day on Christmas Eve for Ontario, later in the day for Ottawa, Montreal, and then it all moves into the Maritimes as rain for Christmas Day. Again, we're talking about temperatures in southern Ontario for Christmas Eve around 10 degrees, even slightly warmer for some parts of the region. So colors in green representing rain. The pink is more of a rain-snow mix, and the blue is snow. And you can see in around Sault Ste. Marie and the Nickel Belt of Ontario, it looks like for Christmas Eve night, that's really where our rain-snow line will be. So that's where we'll see that mixing, and then anywhere north of that is going to be snow. And then as Christmas morning rolls around and temperatures cool, we may see a bit of rain-snow mixing into Toronto, into Ottawa, and maybe some wet snow in southwestern Ontario. But this is not going to be a lot of snow for southern Ontario. It could be heavier amounts to the north, and it could be a lot of rain for the Maritimes. Again, it's still a few days out, but it's such a big holiday and a travel time of the year. We're just trying to get you ready for it. So again, there's 10 degrees for Wednesday in Toronto, Halifax, 11 degrees, and a lot of rain for Christmas Day on Thursday. A push of moisture to get through Monday overnight, more so through the day on Tuesday. That's your last push of moisture. The rest of the long range into next weekend looking fairly dry, but there is the potential for some significant snowfall Christmas Eve into Christmas Day for southern Alberta, depending on the track of that low pressure system. We'll have a closer look at your Monday forecast ahead. You know what, Mr. St. Clair? I like where your head's at. I'm going to continue with that thought. Let's talk about Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We'll start with Christmas Eve. If you have any family plans, travel plans, I know that we do. Our celebrations on Christmas Eve, this is going to be a huge forecast. In southern Alberta, keep a close eye on that forecast because there is a low pressure system that could produce some upsloping and potentially some developing snow, some significant snow. So definitely Wednesday night into Thursday, we're keeping an eye on the snow in extreme southern Alberta. The big story is going to be the eastern half of the country. The heaviest rain for southern Ontario will be Christmas Eve, pushing into Ottawa and Montreal later in the day. It's going to be mild. It's going to be windy. And then all of that rain moves into the Maritimes, Halifax, Fredericton, pushing 10, 11, 12 degrees. It is going to be that warm. So essentially all of that moisture starts spilling in from a couple of lows, in fact, and they all kind of merge together, and that's going to create all of that moisture for the eastern half of the country. In the west, BC, you have that one last push of moisture as we head through Tuesday. So it's going to be an overnight Monday into Tuesday, and then things kind of dry out in your long range. But that's the snow I'm talking about for Wednesday into Thursday. The potential is certainly there for some snowfall. If we take a look at the long range forecast for the eastern half of the country, as I mentioned, it's all of these low pressure systems coming together. Again, rain, strong winds Christmas Eve for southern Ontario, moving into the Maritimes for Christmas Day. And then behind the system, temperatures will cool. There is the potential for snow Christmas morning, just light snow in southern Ontario.